Hello, everyone, and welcome to what should be the last weekend of Season 8. We've got the bronze match today, and with me in the campfire chat is none other than Spoker. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, I would have to assume, as it is a lovely and thrilling 1:45 in the morning for me in Australia. But g'day, everyone. I'm Spokermann, and I'm really excited to be joining you, Will, for this bronze match where we really have some of our strongest teams just showing off what they've got and trying to place as high as they possibly can to finish off the playoffs. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be seeing tonight, Will.
Yeah, so we are going to have Sequence versus Cynic, the second seed against the fourth seed. Cynic, they finished second in the regular season against Sequence, who finished fourth, and they're going head-to-head. And they both played really hard last weekend in the semifinal rounds of our playoffs, but here they are in the bronze match. And like you said, they're just trying to get as high as physically possible in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. But that being said, though, we've seen both of these teams having a really awesome season. I believe both Sequence and Cynic, as well as Elysium, were all sitting at around 7 wins and 2 losses. If we have a look at the bracket leading up to the playoffs, but unfortunately, I think Sequence dropped to Eternal with a 1-3 set loss. Which, still, being able to take a set against Eternal, I would not be upset about that at all. Whereas what was really interesting, what we saw was Cynic versus Elysium, which was the second time we saw them clashing against each other in previous to the playoffs. And surprisingly, Elysium were able to get the 3-0 win over Cynic, which surprises me because we did see Cynic actually beating Elysium earlier on in the regular season. So a very interesting turn of events, and they're going to be pinned up against Sequence here in the bronze match. Now, we should talk a bit about what our pick and ban results have been going into this. So for the bronze match, it's going to be laid out in a best of 3 format as opposed to best of 5 for the playoffs and best of 7 for the grand finals, which is going to be tomorrow afternoon/evening. But our first killer I want to quickly touch on is going to be the Mastermind, which is very obviously picked by Sequence, as we know that General Blight is very confident with Mr. Wesker, and their Survivor side has been performing so well against even the strongest of Mastermind players.
Yeah, personally, I haven't seen too much of the Mastermind. We casted together at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to keep up with DBDLeague as much as I would like, but that's honestly why I'm so excited to be here at the end, getting to see the best of the best. And like you said, we are on that Mastermind. It's going to be all about who can get those bounds and make them count. We saw some really fun stuff. I believe it was last week with Xeno just tossing Ultra around, denying the exit gate. That was a really fun clip that I saw. And I don't think we'll see anything nearly as fun as that, but Mastermind's a really fun killer, just being able to bound around all over the map and just assert dominance that way. And we are on Cold Tower, which is going to be a slightly smaller map. That mobility is going to be so much more useful on that smaller map. And you mentioned the roster for Sequence being really good, but keep in mind, Cynic is also here at the very top levels. Their roster is nothing to slouch over either. They're going to have Ultra on the killer, and Ultra historically has been a really good killer just all around. So it is always possible for the roster of Cynic to just pull something out in this Mastermind round.
Yeah, no, 100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. Ultra being a real jack of all trades, with all killers basically going to be on the Mastermind for Cynic. And we have Angels, Lusty, Ultra, and Wispy on the Survivor side, which I think for all the sets as well. So that consistency between teammates and just having the same Survivor roster throughout all these different killers is really something that you should be worried about, because the level of synergy that you're going to have between your players and the communication is just going to be unparalleled, in my opinion. And just to quickly touch on to Cold Tower as well, when it comes to Mastermind, I always get very happily surprised with the variety in add-ons that we normally see, as there's a lot of different add-ons that you can bring with the Mastermind that will entirely change how your M2 ability will work. I believe Unicorn Medallion used to be primarily the meta earlier on in the season, but leading up towards the playoffs and even in the playoffs themselves, I think the Unicorn Medallion meta has sort of died down, and we're seeing mostly Tendril mixed with leather gloves for that recharge and extra movement speed whilst holding power. But I know that we did see Xeno get some really good value out of the Jewel Beetle as well, which is considered to be the meme add-on, but is unironically really, really strong on a small map like Cole. Now, what do we got in the second set coming up, Will?
We've got ourselves a nice artist matchup, and I'm excited for this one. Mostly because I see the rosters, I see that Volga is slated to play that artist for sequence, and I'm getting flashbacks to last season. All the clips of Volga on artist. It was so much fun to watch, and I'm excited to see it again. But artist is a different sort of killer. Instead of exerting pressure by moving around the map, it's a lot of pressure just by sending out those birds all the way across the map, just trying to scout out survivors, maybe get a hit or two, and just waste as much time as physically possible. And not to mention that it's not just sending those birds across the map for scouting purposes, but it's using those birds to deny the loop, setting them up in a way that forces the survivor to just either take a hit or run away, and then probably take a hit on the way to the next loop.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I feel like for me personally, it's hard to sort of pick what kind of map would be the perfect fit for Artist, as I believe she's been on many different maps throughout the season and throughout previous seasons as well, even in other orgs as well. But Artist is going to be on the Suffocation Pit for your bronze match tonight. And I honestly am really intrigued to see how this will go, because I know that Artists always perform really, really well at any sort of map that has a bit of a tighter choke point towards the middle of the map. For example, Azerov's Resting Place or Suffocation Pit, as we could see. And those hourglass sort of map shapes is what Artists can really muck around with. I've even seen Artists on Groaning Storehouse in other orgs as well in the past, just using those deep pockets of the map as absolute death traps. But it's really, really interesting seeing Artists, and especially on a map like Suffocation Pit. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And I'll let us all know about what our tiebreaker set's going to be, Will. I'm sure you have a lot of passion for this one.
Oh, it's Trapper. I'm so excited. We'll get to the predictions later, but I don't think we're going to see Trapper, but I will be so happy if we do. Trapper is a killer we haven't seen since Season 6. And if we see Trapper again, it's going to make so many people happy. There are so many Evan enjoyers out there that will all be so happy to see this. And with that said, Ultra, like I mentioned, generally a good killer, but historically speaking, Ultra has been primarily known as an insane M1 killer, and Trapper is the epitome of M1 killers. You set up those traps to try and at least maybe not shut down the loop entirely, but make that loop a little bit harder to run around. You get the M1s, and you assert pressure that way. And I am going to be so happy to see this. Now, Ultra is going to be really good on the Trapper, but we have iPick on the other side, another insane M1 killer. And it's going to be an all-out slugfest if we go the distance.
Definitely looking forward to that. Now, I know you were probably going to try and pin this on me towards the end of the campfire chat, but what is your prediction going to be for the outcome of the bronze match, Will?
I should have known this was going to happen. You're going to wait all the way till the end. You didn't want to tell me before we started. My prediction, I think Sequence is going to win this 2-0. Ultra's a really good killer, but General Blight and Volga are specialists, which, and generally speaking, a specialist on a certain pick, not even just in Dead by Daylight, but a specialist should always be better than your general all-around pick or player. So I think by having these specialists play these killers for Sequence, it is going to be a better killer performance than Ultra, who like I said, is consistently good. But consistently good might not be the best, or might not be what you need against these killers who are the best at what they do.
Yeah, I'd say that's a very, very fair point to make there. Now, as for my prediction, as dominant as I feel like Sequence would hold in this position, I think having Angels, Lusty, Ultra, and Wispy on the Survivor side for all these games, and Ultra just holding down the fort with every single killer, I have faith that Cynic will at least be able to take their pick of killer, the Artist, in the second set, and potentially even the Mastermind in the first set. General Blight, I don't think has really been getting as good results as we would normally be expecting him to see in the past couple of weeks, and if that sort of pacing continues up, then maybe there's a chance that Cynic could even take this one 2-0 if they were to win the Mastermind and the Artist set. So my final prediction is probably going to have to be, I still reckon that Sequence is going to win the first set, with Cynic taking the second, and the tiebreaker could really just be anyone's game, but I'm going to have to go with Sequence taking the win here eventually.
All right, so you're going Sequence 2-1. All right. So we're on the same board in terms of predictions, different scores, but at least if I'm wrong, which I normally am, at least I won't be the only one. But yeah, we're being told we're going overtime, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and we are going to get right into that first round, that Mastermind round for you right after the break.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to the Cold Tower, where General... never mind, actually. The iPick is going to be on the Mastermind here for Team Sequence. There actually was a roster change that we weren't 100% aware of in the campfire chat, so that one's on me, but iPick going to be going on the Mastermind here, and a really early hit onto Wispy over on towards the top right-hand side, trying to zone a bit with the power here to try and follow it up with that double tap, and there it is! A down so early on into the trial, that Corrupt Intervention already going to be deactivated, and maybe even a pain res as well to start off the trial, or we're going to be saving it to not use it up too early, and that's exactly what iPick is going to be doing. What a killer start.
Yeah, that's a really fast start, and that's the level of gameplay we're going to be seeing all weekend. It's just these top teams going at it, and like you said, iPick, they're not even on gens. There's no reason to waste a pain res stack, and oh, we got another chase started, a little bit of a mind game, and ooh, swing to the pallet, not quite going to make it. Angels with the pallet stun. iPick looks like he just wants to go back, check on his hook, make sure no one's going for Wispy, and we do see the scratch marks here. Here's the save, and the lunge doesn't quite get anything. I think it was just the lunge for a body block, and Wispy getting chased once again. iPick just playing this for the body block, waiting out a potential borrowed time, and Wispy should no longer have that endurance, and it's gonna be a bit of a distant chase around the main building.
Yeah, no, I think we saw iPick trying to go for a body block, not a bloody block, at the main building window here, but accidentally vaulting it with the second dash is really unfortunate, because now our tunnel out is going to be able to utilize the main building to its maximum potential with an almond tile or a Yamoka tile. I'm not even too sure how that one would be called, but a very nice window facing into the main building, and this is going to be enough time, obviously, for that first jet to be getting completed, but a beautiful bind game from iPick is going to be able to get that grab and that second hook on to Wispy, which I would have to assume that a second generator would at least be potentially ready to pop, unless we see a pain res on this back hook, which, let's be honest, we always see a pain res on that hook, and there it is.
Yeah, there's the pain res, but Angels, Ultra, they're all working on generators, just trying to get something done. And iPick looks like we're going to be in chase with, I think that's Ultra here. We are going to have the gen kick with Pop Goes the Weasel, that 25% regression. Or at least I believe it's 25%. Last time I checked, it was 25. But that could be wrong.
Not anymore.
Wispy gets pulled off the hook, and we're going to see just straight up tunnel out of the game, and It's going to be Ultra taking the hit. And Wispy still getting tunneled after. Do we see another body block? We know Angels was over here working on this generator, so we might. And it does look like we have another survivor here. Angels taking the hit now. 3 survivors injured, and it looks like iPick is going to give up on Wispy, maybe?
Nah, there's no way.
It looks like, yeah, iPick's giving up on Wispy, wants to defend the generators.
Yeah, I guess that does make a good amount of sense, as we know Ultra is actively working this gen after it got hit with the pop, and we know that there shouldn't really be too many gens with much progress right now. So long as we can more or less keep tabs on where we saw Wispy going off to, which we do hear the spray and the killer instinct in the distance, we need to keep tabs on where Wispy is, because we need that elimination as soon as possible. We also need to get some pop or some pain res value, and that's exactly what we're going to get right now with a beautiful, beautiful dash onto Ultra.
Yeah, it does look like this hook is a bit far away. If there's a body block, there's a potential that Ultra could just wiggle off. But no, that isn't going to be the case, and there's the pain resonance. Another Pop Goes the Weasel is ready, but it looks like iPick now wants to just come back and maybe finish the kill onto Wispy.
We do get that chase back onto Wispy, and iPick playing so mechanically well without that unicorn medallion as well, knowing exactly what those dash distances are going to be, and Wispy can be dropping the Shack pallet and trying to make it as far away from the gens as possible and from that unhook, which safely happened in the distance. Does iPick know the spot? Not quite from there, but Wispy camping that pallet perfectly, but a little bit zoned towards the edge of the map here. Has to go back up towards what was an active generator, now being interrupted by the chase, and we should be able to make this pallet. And a beautiful stun from Wispy, stunned again.
Wispy doing an incredible job, but there are no more pallets left to throw on this half of the map, like on the left side of the map, I think it would be. And iPick, that's not the dash you wanted. Wispy doing a really good job in this chase, just wasting as much time as possible. 2 generators left to go, and we know one of them had a lot of progress on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw those gens getting completed, and Wispy's going to be forced to play this pallet here, but iPick messes up the first dash. Not going to be able to slide or bounce off of that tree to get around and get the M2, and got to be careful not to give Wispy the window. We are 8% hindered right now. The pallet gets dropped. No vault back. Wispy playing it absolutely perfectly. This is a pretty safe spot to be in right now, especially with that hindrance. But the bloodlust is starting to kick in, and iPick is slowly but surely going to be catching up here. And the fake out of the vault almost worked out. The 2 generators getting completed in the distance at the cost of going for this elimination. I think we do have a gen split around the main building with a gen in the middle of the map and towards the top left, but iPick is going to have to place this pop really, really well.
Yeah, this isn't the worst gen spread, but still not great. This generator right here has so much progress on it. You do have the 1 kill though, so we are now in a 3v1, and this is a 3 gen. I'd call this a 3 gen. So the game just flips on its head, whole different playstyle now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the mind games at the Z wall, you love to see it. And iPick's going to try and follow it up with a nice, clean double dash. No dodge to the left from Angels. Going to be able to dodge out those lethal dashes and try and survive as long as possible at the short wall.
Yeah, but iPick not defending those generators right now. This could end poorly for iPick if they do get this last generator done. And okay, we do have the dash here and what should be a pain res hook. So not the worst thing in the world, but these generators are going to have so much progress on them.
Yeah, I'm especially worried about that gen over at the top left, because I believe we saw Lusty. Yeah, we see Lusty running back towards the back of the main building. Ultra and Angels were previously doubling that mid generator pretty early on, I guess, to try and bait the attention to that one. But yeah, with Lusty working that back corner and hovering between there and main building, it is going to be a crucial gen to worry about, and iPick is going to try and shut that down and take the chase onto Lusty for that 4th and final pain res.
Ooh, there's a live.
Stack.
There's the live to get some distance, but this is the last pallet on this left side of the map. Firecrackers get used to celebrate iPick getting the hit onto Lusty. This should be a very simple double dash, but no! iPick whiffs the dash and Lusty gets to extend the chase just a little bit longer. But this should be the last pain res stack unless Ultra and Angels finish that generator fast enough and the adrenaline comes into play.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. I think if Lusty did actually just play the pallet in the window in the main building and then try and go there, we might have seen something a little bit different, and we're not quite going to be able to get that fourth stack of No Way Out. We have 3 stacks of it being activated on that bottom left-hand side door. We spot out some scratch marks. Ideally, we would want to find Angels here, as we just acquired all of our fresh hooks, both of our other survivors, both worth another 2 more stages, and potentially going for a slug play after finding Angels would be exactly what iPick wants right now. But we do end up finding Ultra going for the save, and Angels spraying over near the shack to get rid of the infection.
Yeah, iPick did a really good job. Pushes Angels off and is now chasing Ultra. This should be putting Lusty into that second stage. iPick just kind of over here. We do have, I believe that's going to be Angels going for the unhook. Someone's going down here. This should be a 1-for-1. And, ooh, not quite getting the hit over the pallet. Doors shouldn't be ready at this point. Someone's going to go back on a hook here. It's just the question of who.
Yeah, I think this is looking like it's working towards an 8 stage with 4 fresh results. If iPick was to catch, I believe this is Angels taking the chase over towards the shack for a potential hatch escape if Lusty and Ultra are going to be leaving the trial here. I'm not too sure if iPick is super worried about this right now. We see Angels trying to make it over towards shack. We actually see Ultra coming in for a body, and iPick will gladly be taking that. All of our survivors are with the same amount of stages right now. We can't let anyone get grabbed here, but Angels is going to be the one getting grabbed and most likely put up on the hook. No time to go for a reset, and we're just going to be seeing the outs and the 8th stage with 4 fresh being the result from the first game.
Yeah, that was very well played to start off. Some very good dashes, some very good survivor play, a very nice back and forth resulting in, like you said, an 8th stage for iPick with a score of 14 points for Cynic and 20 for Sequence. A good result for Sequence, but nothing Cynic can't come back from. And we will be back with the second half of this round after the break. Hello everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of Round 1. We've got Ultra playing the Mastermind for Team Cynic against the survivors of Sequence. And iPick had an insane start at the beginning of last game. Let's see if Ultra can come up with similar results. The double dash not quite reaching. I believe that was Spotter. And no, sorry, it was Seth. And we're gonna get into an early chase, and someone's blowing up a generator off in the distance. Ultra just holding that M2, ready to go for the dash. Doesn't quite get anything onto Seth. Making use of this tile over here, and little bit of a bamboozle from Seth, not the perk, just the confusion. And Ultra just gonna keep on chasing around this middle path tile.
Yeah, I believe we like to call these ones the eye fillers that commonly spawn around that bottom part of the cold tower, and that was a scary, scary dash to have to face, but Seth is going to be able to dodge it out, but we'll be taking the hit over by this drop pallet and taking the chase back down towards the shack side. We've got Lucky Break being revealed to us here as well, and Ultra going for a mind game with the tendril, but not quite going to be able to make it around because of that first dash, and the first gen is already getting completed for this chase.
Yeah, and this I mean, this is not the start you wanted if you are Ultra. Seth doing an incredible job on these TLs, just wasting as much time as possible. Ultra goes for the double dash, gets the hit, and that is going to be the first hook of the game. One generator already done, though. Corrupt Intervention is no more, but we do have that agitation to hopefully get to what should be a pain res hook very quickly. There it is.
Started.
And now we're going to have to see what happens with this Pop Goes the Weasel.
And having a look here, we see that iPick has got a gen with a healthy amount of progress. Nothing too insane, but Ultra is going to be spotting it out. And we also saw, I believe, either Swat or Excise on a different gen with a bit less progress. And iPick, oh, Kukasiki, my friend, that was a very, very powerful hit. And we got a very nice close-up onto Carlos there from the really funny M2 interaction, but now we have to take the chase towards the middle of the map here. iPick goes for the pallet drop here, but Ultra should be able to get this double dash, and there it is! A nice quick chase onto iPick to make up for a bit of a rough start that we had in this trial, and Ultra, is starting to bring it back a bit here as we get that second stack coming out. And now gens are going to be taking a bit of regression here as we get that Pop Goes the Weasel, which now regresses 30% based off the gen's current progress, Will, to keep you in the loop of the current Pop Goes the Weasel. Oh, greedy.
It's very greedy, but it looks like it might actually pay out. Oh, not quite. Oh, and the hindered. Is Seth even going to make it to the pallet? No!
Oh my.
That 8% hindered did so much for Ultra there. That was such a quick down. And like you said, a bit of a rough start, but amazing recovery from Ultra. 3 hooks so far, 2 unique. Unfortunately, not a kill quite yet, but this is looking good for Ultra.
And what I really like about this as well, right, is that we're going to be seeing agitation instead of No Way Out, which we saw iPick running in the previous trial, and an add-on change as well here. We've got the Unicorn Medallion instead of the leather gloves. iPick injured, working on a gen not too far away from the main building. The second gen is getting completed, but there is a scary setup to have to deal with at the top side, and Ultra knows all about it and is going to try and defend it as hard as possible. We see someone actively trying to pressure this gen near the hook here, and we see Excise sitting up on the hill saying g'day as we have another survivor in the tile here as well, actually coming in for the save here. Excise should be able to get this pull off, which you do get before the grab will possibly come out, which is not going to be a thing for a bit. The power getting cancelled from the firecracker. Excise.
That was such a nice firecracker and such a beautifully executed survivor play from the survivors of Sequence. That 2-man save worked out so... What? That didn't hit. I thought Swatter was dead there. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, and an amazing juke from Swatter at the shack. All the survivors of Sequence are injured, but they say it's no problem whatsoever. They're pulling out all the fancy moves, and oh, Seth got caught out. That's going to be the first, could be the first kill of the game if Ultra decides to go for the pickup, but it looks like it might be the slug. Oh, Blast Mine. I saw it earlier and I was waiting for this.
Yeah, look, it's painful in my eyes this early in the morning, but Blast Mine, it's better to get hit by the Blast Mine before going for the Pop Goes the Weasel, right? Because in some scenarios, it could be the deciding factor between getting a pop-off or not. But first elimination coming out before the 4th generator gets done, which is at a faster pace than what we saw in the last trial. So Cynic actually doing a really, really good job at bringing this back, and more specifically, Ultra for Cynic. Oh.
Yeah, so we do have... There is no more 3-gen though. With that 3rd gen getting done at the hill, there is no more 3-gen for Ultra to use. You have 2 gens on the shack side of the map and 2 on the main side, and Swatter makes the slightest mistake, and he's going on a hook. And I believe this is going to be another pain res.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a hook onto Swatter as of just yet, and this is just where the power of agitation comes in clutch as we can choose almost nearly anywhere to hook, and we get that pain res hook right in the middle, right near this active gen, which is exactly what we would have wanted. That would not have been possible without agitation, and I think it's just proving to have been the perfect pick here for this win condition.
Yeah, and we are going to have Swatter on the hook. Excise and iPick, they need to make something happen. They already used the Firecracker earlier on, so they're not going to have that for this save. And if Ultra decides that he just wants to camp Swatter out of the match, there isn't a whole lot that Excise and iPick can do safely, because a two-man save, it'll get done, but it might end up with one of them going down against a killer like the Mastermind.
Yeah, something I see happening a lot is going for double saves. I feel like killers are more so opting to just go for the double tag and then continue to go for the tunnel out. But because we've already gotten one of our eliminations, at this point Ultra is more than safe to just play for the grab, and there's not really too much that our survivors can do. We get that second stage confirmed onto Swatter. We know that Excise was sort of caught behind the main building a bit, as we have iPick going to be completing the Shack gen in time. I don't know if we have eyes on Excise, but it sounds like he's working on that main building gen, and that's exactly what's happening. Getting ready to pop that balanced landing. Quick, smart, off he goes around the main building. The lunge on top of the boxes coming out from Ultra, doing a little bit of tomfoolery, I would say, and we get that slap onto Excise during the unhook animation, and Chase is going to be kept onto Excise here. Not really going to be able to make it to anything, unfortunately, though. This pallet was previously dropped, but iPick is coming in.
I don't think it's good. I don't think anything is going to come out of it. Excise going to get thrown on the hook. That should be the last unique hook in our last stack of pain resonance being used. One generator left. And you see the sparks from that main building generator. And Ultra decides not to go for the gen, instead goes for the recently sprayed off, I believe that would have been Swatter. And a bit of indecisiveness. Ultra decides to come back to the hook. Wants to just, I think we're going to see another camp to second stage here.
Yeah, the thing about this, by the way, Will, is that, oh my goodness!
What?
Ultra is a force to be reckoned with, but with Excise up on the hook here, if we see the elimination happening onto Excise, which we are actually going to see the rescue, it would have been our win condition met for Cynic to take the first set. We've already gotten our 4 freshes. We get a slap onto Excise to put into Deep Wound and make it difficult to see things, but 9 stages with the 4 fresh would be our win condition met if it was a 2K. So Ultra knows what to do, and there is the down onto Swatter.
Yeah.
Oh, backball!
Swatter went down, but at least has the satisfaction of watching Ultra accidentally double vault.
Yeah.
And this center hook, seeing a lot of action. Swatter getting killed. And we're going to see the Pop Ghost Weasel applied on this main generator once again. iPick, no bounce landing this time, and
I don't think iPick's getting away from this one.
Yeah, I thought he might have. I thought Ultra might have missed him, but instead we are going to have the chase onto iPick. Fully infected, there's going to be that hindered status effect, and preemptive pallet drop followed by the vault, quick and quiet being used. And this is going to be a little rough. Do we see the juke? Yes, we do. Oh, that was a close one for iPick.
Sorry.
We've seen some weird dashes onto iPick before, but that was not one of them.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, so it's always so interesting seeing the perspective of the survivors mid-chase. So massive props to the producer, but seeing iPick playing those check spots around the tile there and being able to make such a nice play.
Oh.
Excise, however, gonna be grabbed off of that shack window. You're coming with me, good sir. You're gonna give me my win condition stages, and just like that, Cynic are gonna be taking the first set on the Mastermind. almost exactly as I predicted.
Almost as you predicted, but you didn't. Officially, you said they were going to win the Artist.
This is true. This is true. But that being said, though, we are obviously going to be seeing the game getting played out. iPick is going to try and go in for the save, and Sequence is still going to play for the best result possible. And I think we should be able to make this save. We do hear the heartbeat getting a lot closer. We see Ultra coming back in, and there's the slap onto iPick. And at this point, it's just inevitable before Excise gets caught and the trial ends in what should be a 4K1 if iPick isn't cheeky and gets the hatch escape.
Yeah, if Excise can get across the map, which might be possible. If Excise can get across the map, we might see iPick be able to get out through the hatch or a bleed out. It's going to be difficult to say, though. We do have Excise on the main side of the map, but he's running back to the tile. The further you can get away from iPick, the better the chances of having something happen. And a nice little mind game from Excise baits out a swing from Ultra, swinging at the air. And Excise just gonna go to the comp corner. A bit of a spray. There's Excise all the way over in the comp corner. And there's the pickup.
Okay, so Excise is actually a survivor who's death hooked, so I don't know if Ultra's actually gonna have time to dash over and stop iPick.
The agitation.
Oh yeah, but the agitation is actually gonna completely shut that down. That's really unfortunate. This is looking like it's gonna be a 4K1.
Oh!
Wait, hang on a minute. Was that like a little bit of flip-flop value?
Did Excise have flip-flop? I honestly didn't notice.
I might very well be wrong, but that was a wiggle out, and now we have to take a chase with 8% hindrance, and I think Ultra is going to be able to actually get to hook in a bit of a safer spot now. So wiggling free, it might have actually been a bit of a misplay in this scenario, but with the win condition already met, it really is not the end of the world. Ultra is going to take the hook over towards Shaq, and now we just got to go find iPick.
Oh, and there's the crows. It's not even finding iPick, it's just picking him up.
Wasting my time.
Oh dear. Wow, well, I'm honestly really impressed with Ultra coming out with the 4K1 against Sequence of all teams, and confirming that first set point is definitely a really comfortable place to be in, especially when you're going to be going into your pick of killer right after this. It's always tough losing on your own pick, but if any team can recover from this, it will be Sequence. So Artist on the suffocation pit is what we're going to be seeing up next, and I guess we'll catch you all after a short break. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Macmillan Estate. This time the suffocation pit, where we're going to be seeing Ultra on the Artist, going to be sending out those info crows to start off the trial and getting a connection with Seth at the shack. I think just hopping locker, though, to get rid of those crows, and 7 hands being used here would have given us some info as to whether or not there were some survivors close by, but that's not going to be the case. We are going to be taking this first chase of the trial onto Seth at the shack with a very early tag to start off the trial, and trying to take the chase sort of outside of where these corrupted gens are, just towards the mid-map as much as possible, trying not to fall into the trap of the birds here, but we are going to get the down regardless, and Seth is going to be our first hook of the trial, and I think Ultra has got something to prove with this choice of agitation, and I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Well, it worked out fine last round. I don't see why it wouldn't work out again, and that was a very quick down, and Ultra just walking past halfway across the map, just not even for a pain resonance, just, I guess, better positioning. And looks like we're going to see that info crow being sent off to that gen in the corner. Ultra wants to play around this 3-gen on the main building side of the map. We're getting some info over there on that generator, and it looks like Ultra just wants to hold down the fort.
Yeah, no, I think we saw someone working one of the main side generators. I don't know if Ultra spotted out as well, but we do have, I believe, 4 generators in a decent enough proximity that we can defend this hook as well as defend the gens. So we do see iPick on a gen, as well as Excise not working. Oh, Excise is actually working one of the 4 gens that we need to be working on, and Swatter, I believe, was pressuring that top left gen earlier on, trying to go in for the pull as soon as that second stage comes through, because any rescue before second is really just it's not possible at this point.
Yeah, Seth goes into that second stage, and I don't think Ultra is going to stop the camp here. I think he's just going to play a little more loosely, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily going to stop camping. And that is going to be iPick getting hit with the birds, and it looks like we might see a bit of a shotgun. No. Oh! And while Ultra was distracted, Swatter gets the save right behind him, and there's the birds being used. No slowdown for Ultra. Those birds just coincidentally being in place. And we do have a bit of a live play through that window. Seth, very vulnerable right now, has to use this mid-map extremely well if he wants to stay alive. A generator does get done, but if Seth is going to go down, it needs to be more than just one generator.
Yeah, we did see that. I believe that gen was getting completed on what looked to have been the main building side, and Seth popping Locker here as well. I think Ultra's just going to wait for the deep wounds to get the down onto Seth, and there's the hop out. I believe this has got to be just a attempt at a decisive strike play, but we actually have iPick trying to come in for a body, but it's not going to be coming through. Seth is still going to go down. The pallet's going to get dropped here too, and now we just have to wait out that little bit of a timer before the DS expires, and
DS is gone. A generator did get done on this side of the map, though, so that is always a good thing. The not so good thing is there's still one more generator you have to do on this side of the map. And we do have a chase with Swatter. Ultra setting up the shotgun, not quite getting anything out of it. And Swatter's able to get those birds off, but still on this side of the map, Ultra still needs to get Swatter to the other side of the map if he wants to hold this 3-gen.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, but we are going to have to utilize the chase of the main building here a bit, and that's what Swatter is doing perfectly. Pre-dropping that pallet around main is going to get hit through the window here. Unfortunately, even the bloodlust was going to come into play to make sure that that tag was definitely happening, and now trying to get over towards the shack side where we still have 2 generators. One generator, actually, as one of them gets completed. Caster's Curse, as always. We can't ignore it.
Yeah, and Ultra finally heading onto the main side of the map, but there's the birds at the shack, and you're leaving that main building side of the map completely undefended. If the survivors of Sequence can capitalize on this, Ultra might have a tough time defending the last generator. And the birds finally ran out. Ultra should now be able to shut down this loop effectively, and what? Swatter on an absolute tear right now. Finally goes down, manages to dodge so many birds, but finally goes down and is getting picked up. This agitation should make the hook relatively quick. But the question is, are these survivors on that main building side of the map?
But Swatter plays that edge filler really well. I say edge filler, but it's always as far away as possible from this main building side where we do have a 2-2 gen split, which is exactly what Sequence wants right now, and being able to waste so much time in that bottom side, even for a quick unhook to be happening as well. Ultra is going to be worried about these gens and going to have to pressure it a bit, so potentially even a reset happening onto Swatter to get everyone in Sequence healthy and ready to go. iPick with some incredible stealthing, trying not to get spotted here. I don't think Ultra's actually going to find him here. We're going to go for a dry kick on this gen near main and maybe check one more time before going back for Swatter, but I think this bird might actually catch out iPick. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, it looks like Ultra versus iPick in a stealth battle. iPick won this one. Lost it in the last round, but won it this time around. And we do have the Killer Instinct onto someone. Not entirely sure who that would be. But we are going to have the chase back onto Swatter. Full health, Ultra versus Swatter in the 1v1 round 2. And it's just a question of who can play this mid-map a little bit better. Ultra with the mind game gets some distance and the hits. And Swatter going to run just across the mid-map, going to stay in these safe Macmillan tiles. We do have some Killer Instinct on that generator. Ultra going to send in just another bird, hits iPick. And we're back in chase with Swatter. Ultra setting up the shotgun, hopefully going to hit iPick. No, just the Killer Instinct iPick. What, he's got an iron will, not the perk, and just chooses to stay there as Swatter goes down.
Yeah, I think iPick hopped in a locker near the main building to try and get those crows off as quickly as possible, and even was able to dodge out the shotgun. The agitation is going to allow us to maybe even get a tag before the gen gets done. No, 7% coming out, and
whoa, bit of lag there.
Wait. Oh no. Oh, that's honestly really tough, because I think that little lag spike genuinely cost Ultra from not only getting that hook, but from stopping that gen from getting completed, and now we have to take the chase back onto Swatter again.
Yeah, that's a bit rough for Ultra. And there's no two ways about it. But luckily Swatter does go down quickly enough, but that one lag spike could have cost Ultra the game.
Yeah, you really hate to see it, but internet will always be internet. We do hear a bit of progress on this main building generator, but it doesn't, because a gen gets completed on the shack side, and we have both of our doors on the main side where our hook is, as well as a no-ed totem to have to worry about that our survivors aren't exactly aware of yet, which it looks like they're actually going to be playing for the pull here. This could be really risky, considering the no-ed being in play. We've spot out where one of our survivors are. We know the other is gone for the save, and now we have to just deal with the aftermath.
Yeah, and Ultra making an interesting choice to chase Excise on the shack side of the map. Both of the doors are on the main side of the map. So I'm not quite sure what this decision is. Swatter gets full health, and that totem should have just been spotted. Oh, I can only imagine what Excise was thinking. He comes around the corner, sees the totem, and then in his mind, he's got three things came into mind. What is? Oh, totem. Call it out. Oh crap! And then he just dies.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't think we're going to be seeing Secrets trying to come in for the save on this one. Both of the doors over on the main side, and Excise hooked right next to that totem. That is a very tough spot to get hooked, but still a very good result from both sides here, and we'll get the score for you in just a second.
Yeah, and it's important to note that Excise was a fresh hook. So that is a lot of points going the way of Cynic at the very end there. And it looks like we do have a score at the end of game 1 of 19 points for Cynic, 14 points for Sequence. A really good score, but just like last round, it's nothing Sequence can't come back from, and we'll see if they are capable of that right after the break. Hello everyone, and welcome to game 2 of round 2, and what could be the last game of this bronze match. We have Volga playing the Artist for Team Sequence against the survivors of Cynic, Lusty, Ultra, Angels, and Wispy. Now, I talked about it in the campfire chat, but Volga, I'm really looking forward to seeing this Artist gameplay. I want to see what kind of snipes can he pull off, and just like that, Wispy takes the birds to the face and is running towards the shack side of the map where there is no corrupt intervention.
Yeah, I feel like this corrupt spawn, or this spawn of corrupt gens, is really, really confusing. Actually, it's all on the main side. You know what? Never mind. That's about as straightforward as it could really get. Seeing all the non-corrupt gens on the shack side, and what kind of looked like spawning on the shack side as well, had me Yeah, okay. Anyway, Wispy's gonna be taking the first chase of the trial here. No, actually not gonna be getting hit there. Managed to dodge out the crows, only giving Killer Instinct and getting him off as well. Really well played. Now it's gonna be Ultra taking the chase at the TLs near what was one of the most active gens, which we'd see someone working on as well. Volga gonna be doing some micromanaging and getting some birds onto Angels at the same time as chasing Ultra. We get birds onto Wispy as well, who goes for Locker to get the birds off, and Angels, no more birds either. Gonna go for the M1 onto Ultra, as that yellow add-on can be really, really scary when you get a hit with the birds.
Yeah, and this is what I talked about earlier with shutting down those loops with the birds. Ultra doesn't really have a choice of where to go, and Wispy takes a hit over the pallets. This is the gameplay we wanted to see on the Artist, and Wispy gonna be running by this no longer corrupt gen, and this could be a hit. Yes, it is. Wispy goes down as the pallet stun comes through. A generator gets done in the middle of the map. That was that active generator, but I don't know if they're working on any other generators. Ultra takes some birds for a brief moment, and another generator does get completed. This should be the first pain resonance, though.
But that's the thing, though, Will. Is this pain res even gonna be put into play anywhere? We saw a stack being used of the pain res, but we didn't see the damage generator blood point thingo, which you would see when a gen gets damaged. So I think that actually tells us that there wasn't even a gen with 1% progress. So the pain res stack got absolutely eaten away for nothing.
Oh, that if you're Volga, that is not what you wanted, and we don't even see the Volga RNG on this map. We have just the basic 3-gen that this map always comes with. That is a bit unfortunate that you don't even get your own RNG. Ooh, we do have a bird onto Angels, and I believe we did see Ultra coming in for the save. Volga gonna set up the shotgun, try and get a hit, which he does. Just wants to protect this survivor on the hook, make sure Wispy goes second. But there's the other survivor that was on this side of the map. Volga not really committing to anything, but just using that power to create pressure across the whole of this top side of the map. And Wispy does end up going second, and it is going to be Lusty getting chased towards the mid-map right now. And the M1.
But is this going to be enough for Wispy to be getting saved, though? We have the hook on the hill. We can't really use the birds. I don't think that's going to hit anyone on the hill unless it was from the other side, right?
Oh, we do get a hit.
Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Volga. What is going on here? We miss out a hit with a little cheeky FOV tag from Angels, but Wispy is going to try and get away from the back of the main building. Does have to take some more crows, and if we have someone coming in for a body, that's just going to be the severed hands coming into play, and this is a really, really scary spot for our survivors right now. This is looking like there could be elimination.
Oh!
But we get the head-on play from Angels, who is still working around the main building, and the firecracker to follow it up too, with the 3rd gen getting done.
Yikes. That was incredibly well played from the survivors of Cynic. That head-on into firecracker combo. Wispy is gone. But now, ooh, Angels with some bad pathing. Volga not able to punish it. And wow, Angels doing really good right now. I don't even know what to say at this moment. Angels running towards the mid-map, that TL, and Volga just decides to give up the chase. Says, all right, I can't do this anymore, and we are going to be chasing Lusty now.
Yeah, just going back and forth between different targets right now. But Angels, the way that they played at that pallet was insane. Lusty, however, is going to be taking that down at the main building, but running straight into the crows and back into the pallet and being able to drop it without getting hit was a really, really nice play. And now we should be getting some proper utilization of the pain res if we do have a pain res hook over here. This gen has so much progress, and even if it isn't pain res, and we can at least use Pop Goes the Weasel, and that's exactly what's going to be happening here. Tough spot for Volga to be in right now, as this could be the set point and the victory to Cynic on the line right now.
Yeah, it is really close, and Volga just trying to maintain control over this main side of the map. Honestly, he hasn't really been doing anything on the shack side of the map for the longest time, which means the survivors pretty much have free reign over there. We do have the killer instinct on that generator, but Volga not really that interested. Instead, wants to go after Angels for round 2. And doesn't take the bait. He wants to go check on this Hook Survivor, make sure no one is going for the save. And we do have, I believe that is Wispy coming in for the save. Lusty with the broken status effect. I believe that is going to be... I do not remember my perk names. One of the heal perks. Uses the broken status effect is gone, and Lusty just goes down under Palo once again.
Oh my, I think Lusty got down just before the renewal would have come into play, so that's a bit unfortunate. It would have been really nice to have that heal go through and have someone there for the body, but that's not what we're going to be seeing here. Volga should be able to get this elimination, but is going to slug for a bit more pressure here, as we do have gens to defend on this top side, and now we're going to be going for the pick on the pallet, but it doesn't even matter because he slaps him with the D.
There's the decisive strike. Mistimes the Cal stun. It didn't look like there was a lie there either. Maybe a smash hit that I missed, but ooh, a nice hit onto Ultra. Volga. Oh, this generator has so much progress on it. Volga has to try kick it, get that base regression going, but that's nothing considering the survivors can just come back over and complete it in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, it is a bit of a tough spot having 2 survivors injured in this position, making it 3 now as Angels gets the tag here, but Volga's got 2 different gens to worry about. Adrenaline goes through onto Ultra, and that final gen gets completed. This would be a monumental task for Volga to have to get to, I believe, the 8 or 9 stages that we need to get the win, or the set point, sorry, for Sequence, and it's just not really looking that likely. We didn't really get to use Pain Res that well this match, and I think it's really just costed Volga everything as Angels takes this down off in the corner, and we should be seeing doors opening in the distance and escapes coming out from the survivors of Cynic.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what you said. Volga didn't bring any endgame perks, so that's an easy 3-man escape. Angels was a fresh hook, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It looks like we have a final score for this round of 35 points for Cynic to Sequence's 29. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the run for Sequence. And I was wrong about round 1, admittedly, but at least we were both wrong in our predictions. I didn't completely lose.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's going to be a really, really nice win for Cynic here. And we're just going to quickly swap over to the campfire chat here to talk about what we just saw and the conclusion of this bronze match. And my goodness, I can't believe that Cynic are going to be your 3rd place team in the DBDLeague for Season 8. And I'm really, really happy that we got to see sorry, that artist set get played out so well. Really unfortunate for Volga with how a lot of things played out, but notably the Pain Res not quite being able to get the value we wanted, and also on Ultra's side, the lag spikes that we saw making me scared that my internet went down. But I'm actually getting word from the staff team that it's not over just yet. We do have one more special surprise for everyone, which is going to be the show match. Do you want to let us know about the show match, Will?
I would love to, but I'm still getting the details. I'm keeping my eye on the behind the scenes, and it looks like what we're going to do is we're going to have the DBDLeague staff team against Cynic's Trapper, which is Ultra. And as Bart is putting it in the behind the scenes, people want Trapper, we will give them Trapper. Thank you, Bart, for that amazing quote.
Oh my goodness. It's been so much chaos in this bronze match, and I'm so glad that even from a best of 3, we've still had so much excitement and so much... I don't even know, there were so many sick moments with the DS plays and all this other stuff, but we're just going to quickly stand by for a bit while we figure out what we're going to be doing with this show match. So we'll see you all very, very soon. All right, everyone. So, as after a lot of back and forth, we have finally set up what is going to be a showcase match between the DBDLeague staff and Wispy from Team Cynic to celebrate the win. And here we have Dyer and Rats over at this bottom side of the map at the start of the trial, going to be taking a hit very early on and going to be charging up those stacks of save the best for last, or as I like to say, Stabiffle. Now we've had to put a point penalty onto the DBDL staff team here as they were extending the setup time a bit, so we're going to -2 points and immediately disqualify them from any future tournaments, and that'll be that.
Sounds about right for a DBDLeague staff, never being on time. But we are going to keep going on this chase with Rats, who, from my understanding, based on what I've been reading in the behind the scenes, is kind of guiding the DBDLeague team, the in-game leader. And we have a nice pallet stun coming in to avoid the mind game, but this trap here could get some value. No! Rat spots it out in time, either just from knowing or seeing it or something. Doesn't go for it and is able to get to this other tile here, but a nice mind game from Wispy with the Bloodlust, and Rats goes down.
And shockingly enough, we didn't see any balance offenses at all. Staff team, so we've restored their faith in humanity once again. But this hook is looking like it's going to be going to a very nasty spot, as Wispy is going to be taking poor Rats into the basement already with 2 stacks to save the best for last, and we all know that's a recipe for disaster. So this is going to be big problems for the team.
And Wispy, not even concerned, tabs out to check Discord or something, and is like, yeah, I got this. I can take a short pause. But we, like you said, we have Rats in the basement, and 2 generators getting done, though. That is some consolation, but that basement is going to be very difficult for the survivors to navigate. We are going to have a chase with Miss, and a bit of a mind game goes wrong for Wispy. Miss just W keys it away from that tile as fast as possible. Instead, running at this filler pallet with the completed generator, pre-drops the pallet. Bloodlust coming into effect for Wispy. Miss running edge map, trying to get to this pallet. We might see a stun. Ooh, but that is going to be Skyrazor Breaker disarming that trap, going for the save onto Rats in the basement, and we are just going to have the trap be reset. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, wait, firecracker maybe? Oh, I don't think there's gonna be a firecracker allowed against a trapper. But Wispy is going back up to try and get the down onto Rats.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, that is.
He's gonna be able to make it back to the hook as well. So that's gonna be 2 in the basement. Oh, almost 5 attempts to probably get out of that trap. Rearming it. Rats is gonna crawl a little bit on top of it. No pallet save is gonna happen with that trap being rearmed, and the problems have just grown stronger as the team is half in the basement and half on gens. There's still 2 gens remaining. This is gonna be tough.
I mean, if you're DBDLeague team, at what point do you just say, all right, those 2 in the basement are dead, and not even go for it? Apparently not yet, because Miz is here, wants to disarm the trap. Oh no, but Wispy's right there, ready to punish. Do we have the stun? No, we do not. Miz just takes the hit and keeps running, but that save the best for last, getting a lot of value. Direwolf has not been seen this entire match, so there's a lot of stacks there, but a quick swing and a miss from Wispy. Direwolf takes some damage from the trap and is going for the unhook in the basement. Miss gets slugged, and Wispy heading right back. Doesn't even want to let these survivors out, but looks like one's out. Oh, the trap's getting reset, and oh no! Oh no!
Oh goodness, what a massacre.
This basement trapper is getting so much value. Wispy doing an incredible job against the staff of DBDLeague. I can only imagine. Wispy goes for the swing, and they get the pickup right in front.
Yeah,
there is a chance, but Rats took right in the locker.
I'm pretty sure we saw a firecracker on. I'm actually gonna have a look. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, we did see a firecracker on Skyrazer. So I was just waiting for a firecracker save at that lockup, but unfortunately, Rats is gonna be taking the first elimination here, and Dyer is just gonna be pointing the beamer at old Wispy over here and trying to at least get some attention here, but it doesn't look like... Oh, actually, we are going to be taking this chase onto Dyer, who's going to be pre-dropping the edge map filler pallet, the league commissioner in the chase. This could be exactly what the team needs to make a comeback and wins the 50 at the pallet, continues to loop it, just waiting for the bloodlust to kick in for Wispy. Dyer's going to actually make it back to this pallet, which has been any means back up as it was previously dropped, but Dyer took that opportunity to try and break away and actually makes it. He's actually going to be able to last in this chase for a bit longer here, but the bloodlust is going to catch up, and that's going to be the end of the chase there. But what a chase!
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Direwolf, not much you could do against Bloodlust 2. And we did lose a couple of those stacks, which saved the best for last. And that's going to be Dyer on the second hook, but there's Miss right here getting caught out. And the question is, what is Skyrazer up to? We have the chase onto Miss kind of near where the hook would be. No more basement hook, though. So Wispy can't play around that basement. Direwolf gets pulled off the hook by Skyrazer. Miss taking a hit through the pallet, getting another stack of save the best for last. And it's just going to be right into this next... Wait, there's no pallets here. And it's just going to be the comp corner for Miss.
I can already hear the comms right now of Missy just yelling at Dyer, "You used all of my pallet!" And Dyer's coming in. "I'll save you! I have the beamer! There's nothing he can do!" Oh, but never mind, Dyer's just telling Wispy, "Put her on the hook!"
All I'm saying is if Wispy does too well, they might get banned. That's all I want to say. That's kind of the gamble you put when you decide you want to be the one to kill the entire staff team. So try not to get banned. Wispy just mid-match disconnected.
Oh no. But Dyer is going to be able to make it over to this pallet and not quite to anything else. We can't make it back around, and that's going to be Peepo by save the best for last stacks, but Peepo by to Direwolf, I think.
Yeah, Direwolf is going to be dead on hook here, and it's all up to Skyrazer to do something, such as a generator.
Yes. That's going to be huge for the win condition of the showcase trapper match. That's going to happen in like the next 2 seasons, maybe, because this is not going to be something that we've been seeing a lot. But Skyrazer going for the save, getting it done, taking that tag, and with all those survival stacks gone, it's not really something to worry about anymore. But it's nice to see the team having a bunch of fun here and sending out this bronze match.
Yeah, the firecracker comes in a bit late, not able to do anything. It looks like we might have some stealth play going on, but Wispy probably not gonna let anything slide too easily. Bit of a spectator bug. I recognize that bug anywhere. And we are in chase with the last remaining survivor. The question is, can we make it to hatch? The pallet gets dropped. Vault back over.
Oh!
And there's the down.
Is it just me, or was Wispy completely invisible from our spectator POV? Because that was the spectator bug?
Spoker, you've been here a while. Yeah, that's the spectator bug.
Aww, look at that, though. Very,
Wispy
very wholesome.
narrowly avoids the ban by letting Miss get the hatch. Just this close to getting banned.
Oh goodness! But I'm actually not super familiar with that spectator bug. It's really something I haven't seen very often.
That is a bug that has plagued me since like season 6. It was not fun. But we got the scores coming in. It's gonna be 10 points for DBDL and 24 points for Cynic. We'll see you for round 2 in like 2 years.
Nah, so I think with this win here for Cynic in the showcase match, that just really sets in stone that they've earned their place as the number 3 team in the DBDLeague. We saw an amazing performance from both the survivors and the killer of Team Cynic. So a big congratulations to Cynic. So that would be, let me pull up the roster, Angels, Lusty, Ultra, Wispy, and Ultra and all the killers doing it and getting it done for Cynic. Unlucky to Sequence, still coming in 4th place for the entirety of the league.